How to make a simple and delicious French press coffee. You're only gonna need 3 things, super easy. You're gonna need some sort of French press. This is a glass French press, and also this is an insulated one. Today I'm gonna be going with a glass one. You're gonna need some coffee, and you're gonna need some sort of way to boil water. The only other thing that you could potentially need, but is absolutely not necessary, is a kitchen scale. This allows you to weigh your coffee beans and the water that you're going to be putting in. You wanna be able to repeat yourself. So if you make a delicious cup of coffee, you wanna be able to do it again. So you can take the same coffee that you're gonna be using, you add the same amount of water, the same amount of time, temperature, all those kinds of things, and it's repeatable. We need to weigh out our coffee. We're gonna be doing 25 grams of coffee. 25 grams. And now we're gonna grind it. You want it to kind of look like coarse sea salt. I'll show you an example of it right here. This is what we're looking for in the grind size of it. So you wanna think of it as kind of like coarse sea salt, basically. So you want it to be kind of like a medium coarse grind to it. To grind your coffee, you could use a coffee grinder like this. It's a spice grinder, but it's not gonna do a very good job. But honestly, when it comes to French press, it's not going to matter as much. Or you could use a slightly nicer coffee grinder, which is gonna do a little bit better of a job. Now also, when you are buying your coffee, if you're at a coffee shop, you could ask the coffee shop to grind it for you for French press. But if you would just say, will you grind it for French press, they'll be happy to do it for you. Now, one way to illustrate grinding fresh versus pre-grinding. So let's say this is fresh grinded coffee and this is pre-grinded coffee that you got from a coffee shop. They're the exact same beans, but let's just say like this glass of water, the pre-ground coffee, was sitting out on your nightstand overnight, and this glass of water, straight filtered water from your refrigerator. One of these is probably going to taste a little better, and it's gonna be this one. So, always grind your beans fresh when possible, but if you have to go with pre-ground coffee, as long as the grind size is appropriate to the brewing style that you're doing, you're gonna be just fine. All right, let's make a cup of coffee. First, what you need to do is you need to put some water in a kettle. The water that comes out of my faucet is filtered, so I'm using clean filtered water into my kettle. Turn your burner on and let's get it boiling, and we are going to get it to a rolling boil. Step 2, take that fresh ground coffee or pre-ground coffee and put it in your French press. All right, now that we have our boiling water, we're gonna take our French press and we're gonna put it on the coffee scale. If we have one, not necessary, just makes life a little bit easier. Zero it out, and we are going to be adding 400 grams of water. Again, this is a 16:1 ratio. Try to make sure that you get all of the grounds wet. Now we're gonna wait about 30 seconds for the coffee to bloom or degas a little bit. And now it's been about 30 seconds since we did that, and we're just gonna take a spoon and we're gonna break up the coffee on the top of the French press. Now we're going to wait 5 minutes. Again, if you don't have a fancy kitchen scale or coffee scale, you can just use your cell phone, look at a clock, just do your best. And it has been exactly 5 minutes. You're going to gently remove it. Try just not to disturb all of the coffee grinds at the bottom. Take the plunger and just slowly and gently plunge the coffee all the way through. It should glide perfectly smooth, putting it all in there, pushing all of the grinds to the bottom, and you are ready to pour into whatever cup you want. Beautiful. All right, you have made a wonderful, bright, tasty cup of coffee. Now, this method is called the Hoffman Method. I'll put a link to James Hoffman's YouTube channel below, but he is a coffee extraordinaire. I honestly did not reference his technique before filming this. I've been doing this technique for a long time, so it might be a slightly more modified version of it, but I do this every morning for my wife's coffee, and honestly, when you are making coffee early in the morning, you're not thinking straight, and so I generally weigh everything out ahead of time. I pre-weigh out the coffee at night. All I gotta do is come downstairs, flick the grinder on, toss it in the French press for her, boil the water once it's boiling, just throw it on the scale, add the water, wait 5 minutes, come back, super easy. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you wanna see more videos on how to everything, please hit the subscribe button. Okay, love you guys. See you guys next.
When you need to figure out how to,
well, what do?
look it up online. How to everything. Brought to you by, I don't know, nature? Sure.